Alright, here we are out at the car. A little different view here. Obviously the back seat. That's where the fuel tank is and where the access panel is down there to the fuel pump. The rear seats, I didn't show this before, pretty easy to get out of the way. They're hinged, so they just flip up and out of the way. You can see the hinges there. You don't need any tools to get the rear seat up and out of the way. It's awesome. And this cover here, it just comes off, and then you take off that other galvanized cover I showed you earlier. So let me rearrange here, and I'll show you the three, I guess, castellated nuts that you got to put back, that I'm going to have to put back on the pump mount. Okay, so down in here, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. You can see it. So there you can see the pump mounting, and you can see there's four. Actually, let me get a light. Probably see a little better. Okay, there you can see the pump mounting situation, and you can see how there's four mounting feet to hold the whole mount down to the tank. I took the castellated nuts, which are kind of like lock nuts, off three of these feet before I found out that if you see that black ring there in the middle, that black ring is a kind of a, I don't know, kind of like a camshaft deal that the pump just twists down onto and off of. So I didn't know that at the time, so I'm going to put here, I'll show you one of them. These are the nuts that I took off, so I'm going to put these back on those feet down there. Yeah, you're going to have to get in the gas to do it, and unfortunately this whole job is about that. But I'm going to put those back on, and the next thing I'm going to do, if we can see it here, is you can see there the bracket where the fuel pump or fuel filter needs to be. I'm going to install that next. Alright, that part's done. I've got all the washers back on here in place. I know you can't tell it from here, but trust me, the three are back on. Next phase is going to be getting that fuel filter back down there where it should be. And you can see the one line that's still in the tank that I took off. The other two lines that go on the front of it are actually on the fuel pump, and I'll try to show you that electrical wire, if you can see it. Yeah, you can see that electrical wire over there that just simply snaps on the fuel filter. And speak of the devil, here's the filter. It's going to be oriented this way. Take the rubber sleeve off the old one. I'm going to slide this on there. Take the green caps off. I'm going to put it in there and get that step done. Okay, got the filter in. You can see it here. Got the filter in. I've got that line in the back on. Get everything ready there. You can see that line a little better. Got it snapped into place there, right there where that arrow is. You can kind of see it. I've got the electrical connector, which you can just barely make out there. It's back on. So you see the two ports there are still open. They're going to go to the fuel pump, which I'm going to install next. And of course I've got the rubber vibration dampener on, and I've got the screw tightened down. So next is the pump. Okay, we're getting close, guys. I just got it weaseled into the hole in there. I've got it onto that black ring, that cam ring that you saw, and I'm going to give it a twist, and I think we're going to feel it. Well, that was pretty anticlimactic, but you can actually hear it thud into place there. Let me try it again. So once you get it on the ring, it doesn't twist very far. You can hear it lock, and now when I pull up on it, she's pretty well seated in there. So the only thing left, I've got the green line from the pump, if I can show it. I've already got that hooked up on the filter. You can see it there. So I've only got one connection left on the filter. And then don't forget, you've got this other short piece coming off this Y tip right here that you got to hook. So one end of this line, one end of this white line goes down to the filter down that way, and the other end of that white line, you can see it going that way. It connects to a line in here, just out of the, I guess, the view of the camera. And the lines are on. This one down here, the last one to go on the fuel filter, the top one there gave me a little bit of trouble. This part right here, it's kind of kinked up a little bit. I guess the fit isn't quite perfect yet, but I just kind of pressed it down. I think it's going to be all right. So the pump's solid. All the lines are on. The electrical connections. Well, the one on the fuel filter is done. Still got this one here is going to attach to. Okay, there it is. This one here is going to attach to the metal cap. Let's see. This piece right here. These two pieces are going to go together. This is going to seal the whole thing. And speaking of seal, I didn't mention this earlier, I don't believe. There's like a sealing ring here. See this piece right here? And I had wondered when I took this off if this was a one-time use piece. So I mentioned a little earlier that I had a friend who's a mechanic. Actually, my dad was working with him, trying to find me a cheaper pump. And he couldn't, but what he did say was this ring here needs to be replaced whenever you take this apart, because even though it looks good, when you put it back together, it's probably going to leak. So I don't have a new one of these. They didn't come with a pump, obviously a different piece. So I'm going to go with this for right now just to see if the car is going to run, and then if it does, I'm going to get this ordered to the VW dealer and put it on there. But for right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on. I'm going to hook up the electrical connector. I'm going to put on this galvanized steel ring and turn the key and see what happens. Okay, so electrical connectors are connected. I've got the cap on there loosely. It's not sealed down yet. I'm going to see if it's going to run. Put the key in here, and hopefully, all the fuel pressure should be down, so we should hear this thing kick on. So here we go. I think I heard it there. Oh yeah. And it started. So guys, that was it. You can kind of hear it buzzing down in there. It's not very loud at all. And I could probably only hear that because I don't have that cap sealed down. But the car's running. Alright guys, I'm going to call it a success. I'm going to put that metal ring on there. Probably put a little silicone around it just to keep it from leaking too bad while I get a new one in. And that's pretty much it. So I hope this helps somebody else that might have had the same trouble. I certainly didn't know where to start. It's just all kind of catch as catch can with it. The one last thing I'll mention about this VW engine is that down here up under the of course I don't have enough light, okay, down here up under the steering wheel where your pedals are, you got to take a panel off here. There's only I think there's 3 screws. There's one here. There's not very many. Anyway, you take this panel off, and here is where your fuses or your relays are. That one labeled 466 right there, that is your fuel pump relay. And the 466 is specific to the BBW motor. Most Jettas and I think the VW Bugs have the 409 relay. I have no idea. I read that the 409 would work, it's just that it won't communicate with that fuel filter back there with that wires on it. So I don't know. I ended up buying one off of eBay just to have a spare in case of a pinch. But this thing, I knew this was good because when I turn the key switch on the ignition and I have my finger on here, you can feel it click. So I was pretty sure it was good. And then just to make sure, I took this wire. I made a little homemade bypass here, and I took the relay out. Just take the relay out, and then I took this wire and where the two big terminals are on this relay, I stuck this wire in those holes on that fuse board there, and it basically just bypasses the wire. You don't even have to have the relay. You don't even have to have the key in to get power back to the pump at that point. So when I put that wire in place of this relay, and that pump still wasn't working, and I didn't have any, the engine wouldn't start, then I knew it was not this relay. But I'd already ordered the other one. So the relay I ordered was only $13 on eBay. If you try to buy this 466 at that import parts place, it was, I think, $65, and I wasn't going to replace it without knowing for sure that that was the problem. So anyway, again, I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Hope it's helpful. If you got any questions, just let me know and I'll do my best I can to answer them. Thanks.